Did you know that a well-maintained property can attract better tenants and lead to fewer headaches in the long run? Today, I'll show you how to keep your MTR in top condition with a simple proactive maintenance plan. On our series, Building a Successful MTR Business. My name is Michelle, and I am here to help you through your real estate journey by providing you my story that will hopefully inspire you to take a leap of faith and keep building your legacy while impacting others. Today, we're going to talk about property maintenance, how to protect your investment and create space between what tenants will love. Just a quick note, while these are my go-to strategies, always tailor your maintenance plan to fit your property's specific needs and consider consulting with professionals for the major repairs. When I first started in MTRs, I thought the maintenance was something I could handle on the fly. But when a tenant called about a leaky faucet, I realized that small issues can quickly turn into bigger problems. That experience taught me the value of proactive maintenance and how to have maintenance crews on standby. It saves time, money, and ensures tenants have a great experience. Today, I'm sharing my system to help you stay ahead of the curve. So let's get into it. Number one, establish a routine and maintenance schedule. Consistency when it comes to maintenance. Create a schedule for routine tasks to keep your property in great shape. For example, on a monthly basis, check smoke alarms, replace the air filters, and inspect for leaks. On a quarterly basis, deep clean HVAC systems, inspect the roof and plumbing, and test appliances. On an annual basis, schedule a professional inspection for your HVAC, water heater, and any other major systems. One of the things that we do is we actually schedule right before summer, because it gets really, really hot in Texas. We will schedule our HVAC guy to go out and check all the ACs to make sure that they're working. So tip, set reminders on your phone or use a property management app to track these tasks. What we've done in the past when we first started is we would just put it on a Google Calendar, and then we were able to know at least a week to 2 weeks prior to that actual scheduled time to get everything taken care of. For example, we have our pest control right now already scheduling us for December, so we don't miss our quarterly actual pest control for all our properties. So number two, address repairs promptly. You would think small issues wouldn't be as costly, but they can be if you're ignoring them. For example, that drippy faucet might seem minor, but it can increase the water bills and damage fixtures over time. Responding quickly only saves money, but also builds trust with your tenants. Another thing is that you can, if you are doing these quarterly maintenance or these monthly maintenance checks, sometimes the tenant may cause those, and this will allow you to get ahead of it and know kind of what you're working with. So I once had a tenant report a minor AC issue, and because I addressed it immediately, the problem was resolved before it could get escalated. And the tenant left me a glowing review for being very responsive. So we always have a 2 to 3 actual for each trade, and the 2 to 3 maintenance for each trade. And then you want to have that overnight, that emergency. We definitely don't like calling emergencies, but you definitely want that. So number 3, in the financial aspect of it, keep an emergency fund for repairs. Unexpected repairs are part of the game, so be prepared. I recommend setting aside 5 to 10% of your monthly rental income into your emergency fund. This ensures you are not caught off guard for any major expenses like a broken water heater or roof repair. We just got a call from our long-term tenant just a few days ago. And that property, we did a full inspection on the property. We actually had a crew go out and make sure that everything was working prior to this tenant moving into this property. And lo and behold, there was a leak that was in the garage, which we have never had. And we haven't had anything happen that was cold. But once we had our tech go out there and check it, he had to go into the wall, and it was on a copper pipe, that was like a pinhole that we had to get soldered and fixed. Luckily enough, it had nothing else that was major. But that non-major bill cost us $1,200. So it was like in a weird situation in a spot. It was right where the water heater was, underneath the crawl space, in between the wall. And so it took his crew. And this is someone that we trust, but it took his crew some time, and it was kind of expensive. If we didn't have that money in the emergency fund, we would have been in some trouble. So number 4, hire trusted vendors and contractors. I cannot stress that enough. You will go through so many vendors and contractors. Hopefully you don't, but you will. It's just reality. And you're always going to want an evolving list. Like, don't get too comfortable, because I don't know what it is, but most contractors sense that, and then they decide that either they're not going to show up or any of that. We have had a pretty good stream of luck this year with our contractors, our maintenance crew, but it definitely took us a few years to get to where we're at. So I know you can do it as well if you follow all the tips that I had had in that contractor series. You want to build that network of reliable professionals for common repair needs. You want, as I mentioned, plumbers, electricians, handymen, see what your cleaning crew can take care of. There are certain little things that you can do to be able to have them take care of stuff. Believe it or not, people that are in this industry a long time, like our cleaning crew, is now having a little bit of a handyman side business. And or we always ask him for referrals, because he has about 75 units that he oversees and that he cleans for. So he asks his other landlords, who do they use, or he actually sees them. Sometimes he may have to have them come in. So that's always a good thing, is to be able to ask, your cleaning crew for those trusted vendors. So a pro tip, negotiated discounted rates with your vendors by offering consistent work through multiple properties. So we do this all the time. I think at the beginning, and I'm giving an example, but at the beginning, I think our lawns were anywhere from $85 to $100 a lawn. We're down now to about $50 because we are growing in size. And so $50 a lawn is where we're at. And that's just an example. So every year, I go back and look at what our expenses are, and also how much we paid to our vendors. And they definitely don't want to lose out on that revenue stream. So I would definitely have a conversation with them and be able to see if you could get that discounted rate. Number 5, keep the property tenant ready between stays. Turnover is the perfect time to inspect your property and make sure necessary updates. Here's a quick checklist: the tenant-ready maintenance, like paint touch-ups, keeping walls looking fresh. That is a big thing, especially if you are converting from short-term rentals into midterm rentals, especially if you are using a light color. We're having to do touch-up paint with the midterm rentals. I would say we do it about once a year. We go in there and we look, but we always definitely want to make sure we're always doing inventory check to make sure that all the spoons, knives, and forks are there, everything that we've had. We simply, if you don't have a PMS system, you can simply take pictures, put that in a folder, and just put a quarterly check. I've done it in the past on my phone with notes, and then I will simply just upload it to a Google Drive, and then I would know when I'm doing my maintenance and how did the property look. Right? In addition, pictures do save you. In addition, I do have our cleaning crew that takes pictures all the time of the before and after. So paint touch-ups, you're always going to be doing that. I would say just if you do make sure you do have your colors on, for every property that you do, make sure you keep the color swatch of that, because you definitely want to know and you'll forget as you start to build your portfolio. Appliance checks. Ensure all appliances are functioning properly. Mainly thing is the washer and dryer. Washer and dryers always get very much abused. We want to make sure that in where the dryer is at, the lint that goes out, that always gets sometimes clogged. So you want to double check that and make sure that you're able to clean that. I've had to do a lot of YouTube University to be able to know how to clean washers, how to clean dishwashers. It is very different than what I've ever had to do before. But because we have so many of them, I can't even give you the count of how many washer and dryers we have. But you have so many of them, you want to make sure that those appliances are functioning properly because they can, you don't want that to happen during someone's stay. Furniture repairs, fix any loose screws or worn upholstery. That is definitely with beds. So make sure you're checking the beds because I know that some beds have the actual boards and they get loose underneath. So make sure that you are checking those and then getting those replaced in a timely manner because you don't want someone to accidentally fall in between the bed and then it messes up the frame and it really does some bad things. You can kind of see that I have experience with that. Definitely deep cleaning. So, right, these include carpets, curtains, and hard to reach areas. What we do with our cleaning crew is they'll come in and they will do once a month something that is deep, like take out all the dishes from the cabinets, deep clean them down. They'll do baseboards. They'll go into a really big thing of dusting. So that is always good. It's above and beyond the additional cleaning that they do for our tenants. But also with cleaning, if you do implement bi-weekly cleaning, it will save you headaches and time when you do have that 6-month tenant. It also allows you to put eyes on the property. We've discussed that before too. So an example, after a tenant moves out, I always do a quick walkthrough to check for wear and tear. It's a small step that ensures that the next tenant walks into spotless, functional home. So I love my cleaning crew. They do such a good job in doing that. They have an inspector on their team that actually does that for us and then lets us know so we can get ahead of the curve, ahead of anything that does happen on the properties. And accidents happen. It's wear and tear. It's just the nature of the industry we're in. So how do you address the common maintenance challenges? Even with a great plan, challenges can pop up. So here's how you handle them. Tenant neglect. If tenants aren't reporting issues, consider scheduling a mid-stay check-in to catch the potential problems early. I always let our tenants know if you do not report the issues and it gets escalated, we will consider it that you will get it taken out of your security deposit. So please let us know any minor issue. Please let us know ASAP so that we can take care of it because we just never know what that is. So they typically will let us know if something is going on. And remember, yesterday we talked about that property checklist, right? So that will also give you a heads up at the beginning of their stay as well. Outdated systems, right? If older appliances or systems are causing frequent repairs, weigh the cost of replacing them versus ongoing maintenance. I think we recently had a refrigerator that the appliance company went out and they indicated that it was going to cost us like $1,100 to do a repair, but it wasn't guaranteed that it was going to continue to keep freezing. So at that point, we said, you know what, let's just buy a new one because the new ones usually will have warranty on them. We buy from an appliance store here locally that they actually do guarantee a 2-year warranty on all, lightly used appliances. Budget constraints. If a major repair isn't immediately affordable, communicate with tenants a plan to the timeline to resolve the issue. I highly suggest if you are running this, obviously this is a business, you want to get business credit. And with business credit, you can have I always have an emergency fund credit card that is only simply for any utilities and or repairs to the property. So you do want to have that as well to be able to have just for properties, just in case, like a card that you don't use for anything else other than maintenance of the properties. So invest in preventative upgrades. Replacing an old water heater or roof may feel expensive upfront, but it saves money and stress in the long run. So I definitely, when you are going through your construction phase, if you are purchasing these properties, you want to make sure that you are addressing any of those during the construction. If you are leveraging hard money, leveraging private money, you're actually rehabbing these properties. Don't do shortcuts if you're keeping these properties. I always tell my contractors, like this is a flip that I am going to do, and I want to make sure everything is by code and everything is completed, because in the long run, I'm keeping these properties 5 years, 10 years down the road. I don't want any problems, because that's going to only cause more problems for me. So, why is proactive maintenance? Why does it matter? Maintenance isn't just about fixing the things, it's about protecting your investment. We spent lots of money on these properties to buy them, renovate them, get them furnished. So you want to continue to protect your investment. And you also want to keep your tenants happy. They don't know that this just happened and it's never happened 2-3 years ago. So you want to make sure that's usually when things happen is when someone moves in. That the long-term tenant that I just told you, she moved in at least less than a month ago, and then this happened. Thank God we were able to get our crew out there quickly the same day. So remember, proactive maintenance is your best defense against unexpected expenses and tenant dissatisfaction. By staying ahead of the repairs and creating a routine, you're not just managing a property, you are running a professional business. So what's been your biggest maintenance issue and challenge? Let me know in the comments and let's share strategies. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on this series. I will provide a property maintenance checklist below for free for you to be able to look at. So next episode, we'll talk about furnishing and styling your MTR to maximize your appeal and attract ideal tenants. It's all about creating a space that stands out, so you don't want to miss it. And if you're liking this series, you may want to join us for our MTR Masterclass that I will be hosting very soon. There is a link below if you are interested in attending. Please just fill it out. It would allow us to know how many people would be interested in learning a little bit more about MTRs and how to get into MTRs within 30 days or transitioning from MTRs if you currently have an Airbnb. Thank you again for tuning in, and I hope that this has encouraged you to keep building wealth. Bye for now.